On behalf of the family, I welcome you all here today as we prayerfully gather in memory of our loved one, MaryKay Alexander. Thank you for sharing this time of remembrance as a celebration of her life. We've also come together to reaffirm our faith in eternal life. MaryKay will continue to live on in the memory of all those who knew her and loved her. This was a rich and joyous life, fully lived. And we say, well done, MaryKay. But she left us too soon. Yet we can find nobility in the loss as we persevere and as we deal with whatever blessings life brings us. That's what will honor MaryKay's memory and honor the life she lived. So I invite you to close your eyes as we move into prayer. O Holy One, in the midst of this experience that casts a shadow across the bright light of day, we turn to you for enlightenment, for inspiration, and a deeper sense of the true values of life. We acknowledge that your Holy Spirit is the comforter for all who mourn, and that your abiding presence will be as a shepherd to them as they make their adjustments in the days to come. Your gift of pure love transcends all time and space and links us eternally with this one who has passed beyond physical sight. As we bless MaryKay on her way to the next experience in living, it is our desire that from now on we may never think of her as dead, but always think of her as a living soul, continuing on the pathway to eternal life, and always in your wise and loving care. We see her enfolded in your unconditional love and light. For you are the source of all creation, in whom we live and move and have our being. For that comfort and assurance, we are truly grateful, and we thank you, and so it is. Amen.
On behalf of our extended family, thank you all for coming to honor and celebrate MaryKay's life. My sister would have been very pleased to have seen you all here, gathered together. Also, I wanted to thank Unity of the Valley for providing this beautiful space for us to gather. Our mother, Sheila Clark, the living matriarch of our family, was unable to join us today in person. And she wanted me to act as her emissary and convey a few of her thoughts to all of you. Mainly, that my mom misses MaryKay terribly. She lost her baby as well as her son. Something so unimaginable, so devastating for any mother to bear. As we talked on the phone last week, my mom continued after having expressed her deep sorrow. MaryKay could be a royal pain in the butt. Actually, I censored that. But she was also the gal who always had my back. She went on to say that in her experience, many people misunderstood MaryKay, and quickly added, MaryKay was a sweet, heart, and she will always remember her gift of love. As I reflected on my mother's words, I realized that what she had said was all true for me as well. And perhaps it is also true for you. I miss my sister deeply in incalculable ways. Yes, she could be a pain in the butt, but she also had my back. She expressed her love in so many beautiful ways, like when she moved to Alaska to help me as a new mother, whose scrumptious lomi-lomi massages that sent me purring, or the arrival of some sweet gift that was just perfect. The fragrant lays she made for me and others, or her gentle reminders if I forgot something. She was very good at that. And mostly, the beauty she created wherever she went. I'm sure many of you could add to this list. One of the qualities I witnessed many times in MaryKay, and one that I greatly respected, was her incredible ability to forgive those who had wronged her. This always humbled me. Later in the service, you will have an opportunity, if you wish, to share a story or two about MaryKay. And together, our stories will weave a beautiful tapestry of our collective experiences and all the ways in which MaryKay touched our lives. My dearest sister MaryKay, aloha ahui ho'aku, until we meet again.
How would he feel if he saw a baby? ikapondo o Hawaii uama e ao kaina ikapondo o Hawaii uama How's that?
To last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate your party with you. Come on now. Celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Celebration. We gon' celebrate and have a good time. It's time. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on! It's a celebration. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. There's a party going on right here. A dedication to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate and party with you. Come on now. Let's all celebrate and have a good time, yeah, yeah. Celebration. We gon' celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on! It's a celebration. It's a celebration. Let's celebrate. Come on now. Let's celebrate. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's all right. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's all right, baby. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's all right. We're gonna have a good time tonight.
He's following me in the bathroom. He's video.
Yeah, she wasn't doing anything
No.
like that.
I was checking the layout.
Celebrate good times, come on.
All credit for that goes to the man in the back, Ryan. He's put that together for me. I scanned all the photos and sent them to him, and he put that whole thing together. I'm really glad we went with Celebrate for the last song, because I thought I was going to not be able to stand up here. So this song was MaryKay's high school class song when she graduated. It's I don't know if you guys know, but in Hawaii they have a whole other music that, like people in Hawaii create music for Hawaii, and that we know about is because he became an international star. But there's all kinds of other music that most of us don't ever hear. So this was her graduation song, and this is the one I played when she danced hula a few years ago. So I figured I could probably do it again. I'll power through. The lyrics kind of speak to some of the things about MaryKay and the way she felt. I remember days when we were younger. Used to catch Opa in the mountain stream. Around the Kolau hills we'd ride on horseback. So long ago it seems it was a dream. Last night I dreamt I was returning, and my heart called out to you. But I fear you won't be like I left you. Que aloha tu home o kahalu. I remember days when we were wiser, when our world was small enough for dreams. And you have lingered there, my sister, and I no longer can, it seems. Last night I dreamt I was returning, and my heart called out to you. But I fear I won't be like I left you. Me aloha ku home o kahalu. Change is a strange thing, cannot be denied. It can help you find yourself or make you lose your pride. Move with it slowly as on down the road we go. Please do not hold on to me, we all must go alone. I remember days when we were smiling, when we laughed and sang the whole night long. And I will greet you as I find you, with the sharing of a brand new song. Last night I dreamt I was returning, and my heart called out to you to please accept me as you find me. Ke aloha ku home o ka halu, ke aloha ku home o ka halu, me ke aloha ku home o ka halu.
It's really nice to hear you do that song again, Brian. You do it wonderfully well, especially that last note. Bam. Well, I am going to begin comments from our ministerial team by sharing the obituary for MaryKay, and then that will be followed by some comments from Reverend Inga, who will also share thoughts from Reverend Sherry Lady, who was not able to be here today, and then I'll pop back up for some comments of my own. But to begin with the obituary of Mary Catherine Clark Alexander, who was born September 22nd, 1959, and passed away suddenly, as we know, on Saturday, March 14th, 2020, due to complications from COVID-19. For those of you who don't know, she was the first person we lost in this entire county to COVID. So she was the first, charged right in there. MaryKay was born to David Douglas Clark and Sheila Brown Clark on September 22nd, 1959 in Hilo, Hawaii. Her formative years were spent on the island of Kauai, where her family enjoyed idyllic summers in Hanalei, swimming and water skiing with many family friends. During her elementary school years, MaryKay discovered her love for the performing arts. She played the role of Dorothy in an incredible production of The Wizard of Oz at Wilcox Elementary School. Who was here who saw that? Anybody saw that? You did. So that was a 4-star production. Incredible. Remember that. The Clark family moved back to the big island of Hawaii in 1971, where MaryKay attended St. Joseph School in Hilo. She loved being a part of the school community where she made dear lifelong friends. Her school spirit was undeniable, not surprising, culminating in her becoming the St. Joseph High School Cardinal mascot. She graduated in 1977. I love that, the mascot. MaryKay then studied and lived in Honolulu, where she achieved her certification as a nursing assistant and licensed massage therapist. How many of you have gotten massages from MaryKay? Yes, every family member. She cared about people, and her healing hands touched many. She embodied the aloha spirit, expressing the essence of love in all that she pursued. When she turned 30, MaryKay decided to broaden her horizons and move from Hawaii to Fallbrook, California, where she worked as a nanny. In 1991, she moved to Anchorage, Alaska, so as to be closer to her sister and to be integral in the lives of her nephew and niece. Over the years, MaryKay was a nanny for many families, which allowed her to express her deep love for children. MaryKay also worked for Fred Meyer and eventually transferred from Alaska to Eugene in 1996, where she met the love of her life, some guy named Brian Alexander, on a blind date set up by one of her co-workers. MaryKay and Brian were married on January 24th, 1998 in Eugene. MaryKay was actively involved with and contributed to this place, Unity of the Valley Church of Eugene, in a myriad of ways during her years living in Eugene. She did everything from cleaning the facility and serving in the kitchen to being on staff as assistant to the youth education director. MaryKay endeared herself to others with her ability to give so freely. She would often be the last, I would say just about every time, be the last to leave any dinner party because she would be in the kitchen cleaning and ensuring everything was restored to order. Well, that officially ends the obituary, except just to mention that we are so blessed today to have so many members of MaryKay's family with us, and we thank all of you for being here to celebrate the incredible, incredible life of MaryKay Alexander. So thank you.
Well, I had the good fortune to spend a good deal of time with MaryKay and Brian. And I know them particularly in two arenas where they were most helpful. One was helping me with events at my house. I could always count on Brian and MaryKay to show up as a team and work as a team because they complemented each other's skills beautifully. MaryKay with her attention to order, precision, and things done right. And as John mentioned, finished. They worked beautifully in the kitchen, and Brian, being as husky as he was always helpful with the setup. So I have fond memories of many events at my house. And they were like my kids. In fact, they're the same age as my kids. So I just counted them as part of the family. Another arena, and some of the pictures that we saw earlier come from that arena, and that is family camp, Unity Family Camp at Cispus in Washington. And we would all pile in my car, the three of us, and sometimes Eben, who is here today, I do believe. He's back there, he is. Yes, okay. Would join us, and the four of us would drive up to Cispus, and halfway up, we would stop for breakfast every time at the same place that they loved. And Brian would be so chivalrous and fill up for me because in Washington, it's self-serve. So MaryKay and Brian were always part of the people who did the ropes course, and that was no easy feat. So you saw MaryKay running to get on some of the elements that we participated in. So that was very, very sweet to have those memories on several occasions. I don't know how, there she goes.
Wearing shoes.
Miracles never cease. I mean, that was one of the rare occasions I saw MaryKay with shoes on. You saw pictures of her earlier in the snow with flip-flops. That's MaryKay. So those are some of the fond memories I have of that dear, sweet soul. And now I want to share with you what Sherry Lady wrote. MaryKay was one of my favorite people. I first got to know her when she became my assistant when I was youth ed director. We just seemed to click and enjoy sharing ideas about youth ed. When the new youth wing was completed and I got to have my office there, which I still miss very much, and see some of my artwork still in there, she helped me hang some of the artwork and help keep things in order, look over catalogs, organize supplies, and offer suggestions. Her trait of being somewhat obsessive-compulsive about organizing was just what I needed to celebrate, just what I needed to balance out my more casual style. And we did have fun sharing about that. When I was no longer director, but onto other things in the church, I used to go into the office, long for that space again, and I would see the box with her name on it, on the shelf, by what was my desk, where she kept some of the things she worked with, and I missed her. As some of you know, Bonnie Chappa, who's here today as well, Mary Griggs, bless her heart, Mary's always with us, and I created 19 musical shows, one each Christmas and one in springtime, that involved adults and children and some of the staff, and both MaryKay and Brian were in many of them. She was always either on stage or behind the scenes to make sure things were in order and ready to go. Those were wonderful years in so many ways, and I miss them. Gary Wymore, Sonny Schneider, Brian, John, Donna, Tom Blank, and many others of you, too many to mention everyone right now, were a part of those performances, and MaryKay helped me make scrapbooks for these shows. And that part of things is another whole story. Each year, on or near my birthday, Brian and MaryKay would always take me out for lunch at a Japanese restaurant because of MaryKay's experiences with Japanese culture in Hawaii and my having lived in Japan for 4 years before becoming a minister. Those were special times too. She always called me sweetie or darlin', both of which were a bit out of my character for me, but I can honestly say they were true about her. Brian, I still think about her and miss her and know that the angel that lived in her is walking by her side now and loving her for us and with us. May you find peace. Love to you, Sherry. So this is Hawaiian as it gets for me, and in honor of MaryKay's heritage, I thought I'd dress for the part today. You may see some prayer shawls scattered throughout the sanctuary. If you feel a need for comfort and would like to have one of those shawls, you are welcome to choose one. Just let me know after the service because we log them, we keep track of them. So that's it for me. Back to John.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could have a celebration of life while the person we're celebrating is still with us? So they could be here in person to see and hear how much we love them. Yes, it's certainly possible that a soul could be tuning in from the afterlife. But what a difference to know for certain our beloved one is taking it all in and be able to hear them respond in their own words. And so this morning, as I finalized my thoughts about MaryKay, I imagined what if at the very least she was able to text in her thoughts? Would she want to offer at least at least her own 2 cents. You know, it says, oh yeah, definitely. Well, I can't think of a better way to begin a tribute to MaryKay than by saying good morning to all of you in Hawaiian and invite you to say it back. So here we go. Aloha kakahiaka. Together, aloha kakahiaka. Hold on. MaryKay is letting me know something. Sorry, John Boy. Aloha kakahiaka is only used between the hours of 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. From 10 to 2 p.m., Hawaiians say good noontime like this. Aloha avakea. Avakea. Together, aloha avakea. She says it's too late to train me in all things Hawaiian, so just go on with it. Okay. All right. I first met MaryKay and Brian Alexander on a beautiful Sunday morning in Florence, Oregon. I was there as minister of a small Unity church in Florence, and I noticed Brian and MaryKay right away. She says, yeah, because we were 20% of the congregation. Okay. Well, after the service, they invited me over to their cozy coast hideaway, which they visited as often as they could. I felt an instant sense of friendship with these two souls, not only because of how bright and cheerful they were, but because they were fellow lovers of dogs and of beaches and of that special joy-filled magic that happens when you combine dogs with beaches. And that may have also been when I learned that Brian was a fellow musician. This happened about 20 years ago. I could not foresee then how my life would intersect with MaryKay's and Brian's, but intersect we did, and it all centered around our shared love of unity. About 3 or 4 years later, in 2006, I became Unity of the Valley's music director. This was a homecoming for me because I had held that same position throughout the 1990s, often co-directing along with my wife, Donna. So my return to Unity, only this time, it was a little different because this time I had the occasional addition of Brian joining the Unity band on guitar, which was always fun. By then, MaryKay was also, as we've heard, a devoted volunteer at Unity. But it wasn't until I joined the ministerial team here in 2013 that I really became aware of MaryKay's deep devotion to serving. In particular, her attention to the details of cleaning and neatness that the rest of us might occasionally overlook. She says, might occasionally overlook. That's a good one, John Boy. Well, a quick glance back at emails I received from MaryKay over the years revealed this gem she sent to our entire ministerial team in 2014. Hi all, upon arrival for last night's event, we parked close to the shed, knowing we would enter the Fillmore wing via the ramp. That's the ramp right out there. And I noticed that the dumpster lids were flipped completely open and could see there was a lot of stuff in there. After our evening was done and before leaving the parking lot, I took our flashlight from our trunk and went over to assess why these lids weren't closed and why it was so full. And what I discovered was that there was, here comes the list, there was carpet padding, what I think was a vacuum cleaner, and paint cans that don't go in the trash anyway, by the way. So I thought, wow, where's our trash from our building going to go? Everything that I saw, I did not recognize as ours. By the way, whenever I'm at church before leaving, the last things I check on are whether the shed door, the dumpster lids, and the corral gate where we keep our recycling are closed. At different times, I've had to deal with each of these things more than once. I think it's high time we put a lock on our dumpster because obviously other people are using it. This is not the first time I've observed extra trash in it. I think a lock would put a cease to that problem. Aloha, MaryKay.
I think I had to type that.
And get a lock is exactly what we did. The problem of illegal dumping was about to get worse and worse here in Eugene. So I would say MaryKay was ahead of her time in terms of locking up trash and recycling areas. Now, speaking of recycling, a few years later, in 2016, I began finding something very interesting in my church mailbox. Week after week, I would find a copy of the previous Sunday's paper program that we hand out to people as they enter the sanctuary. And on this used program would be written a number. One week, the number might be 94. The next week, the number might be 117. MaryKay did explain what the number meant, but rather than me telling you, I will just read the minutes from one of our weekly shared leadership team meetings. April 29, 2016. Today, we discussed the concern raised by a volunteer who had been putting notes in John's box, reporting the number of Sunday handouts along with occasional inserts being turned in for recycling. The consensus among all present was that we appreciate the concern. We also agreed that making these handouts available serves an important purpose, that our activities are worth reinforcing by giving people the written information so they could choose to take it home or not. So I'll just tell you, MaryKay was letting me know exactly how many of our paper programs and inserts were going in the recycling bin each week. The not so subtle message was, did we really need to be wasting all that paper? Of course, MaryKay had a good point. It was worth questioning if all that paper should be used for a program people might look at for just a minute, and many of them would just leave it right behind in the recycling after that. And yes, each time one of these paper programs showed up in my mailbox with the reported amount of waste, I felt a little twinge of guilt. The number she wrote was almost like a body count. It's like, geez, 120 this week. But in the case of our shared leadership team, we looked at the issue from various sides and decided, thank you, it's not an ideal situation, you're right, but all things considered, we would rather keep handing out our programs that list our current activities and upcoming events. After I shared our meeting minutes with MaryKay, showing that we had seriously considered her concern, that ended the notes in my mailbox. So MaryKay, if you are listening now, as we thank you for all the many ways you served our community, I'd like to throw in a little thank you for that. So, you're welcome, John Boy. Okay, well, I don't want to leave this issue of caring for our planet too quickly, because it makes sense that someone like MaryKay, who felt such a close kinship with the spirituality of Hawaii, would also be tuned in to the environment. There is a natural connection between our philosophy at Unity and the religious beliefs of indigenous peoples around the world. Like them, we at Unity see no separation between the divine spirit in each person and the divinity that permeates creation. This idea is expressed in the word aloha. The last queen of Hawaii, Queen Liliuokalani, explained the history of the word aloha as follows. And wherever the native Hawaiian went, he said aloha in meeting or in parting. Aloha was a recognition of life in another. If there was life, there was mana, goodness and wisdom. And if there was goodness and wisdom, there was a God quality. One had to recognize the God of life in another before saying aloha. But this was easy because life was everywhere. In the trees, the flowers, the ocean, the fish, the birds, the grass, the rainbow, the rock. In all the world was life, was God, was aloha. Aloha in its joy, happiness, abundance. Because of aloha, one gave without thought of return. Because of aloha, one had mana. Aloha had its own mana. It never left the giver, but flowed freely and continuously between giver and receiver. Aloha could not be thoughtlessly or indiscriminately spoken, for it carried its power, its own power. No Hawaiian could greet with another with aloha unless he felt it in his own heart. If he felt anger or hate in his heart, he had to cleanse himself before he said aloha. In July 2018, we on the ministerial team knew it was time to let that power of aloha in MaryKay express in a visible way. So we invited her to do a hula dance during a Sunday service. I understand that Brian will now be sharing that hula dance with us now. Is that right? Right? It says, no, no, no. Okay. Well, what you need to know, I think, is that when you saw MaryKay doing the hula, you knew she was in her natural element. Now, I had seen MaryKay do other things very well, not only in her detailed caring for our church facility, but having attended both her 50th and 60th birthday parties, there is no doubt she knew how to throw a party. Yet, there was something different when MaryKay would share her knowledge of and love for Hawaii, especially when that music came on, such as that particular Sunday when Brian did such a fantastic job leading the music. And you could literally see MaryKay transfigure into a Hawaiian hula goddess. You could see she was really coming home to her heart. Now, being so sensitive and respectful of Hawaiian culture as she was, MaryKay had to accept that she would always be what native Hawaiians call a haole, a white person. So she certainly would not have given herself the honored title of a kahuna. But I think the time has come to consider applying the title of kahuna to our beloved friend, MaryKay Alexander. In an article entitled, What is a Kahuna by Sergi Kahili King, we learn kahuna originates from the word kahu, which refers to those who are caretakers. Here in our spiritual community, caretaker is exactly what MaryKay was. Traditionally, kahunas were the experts of old Hawaii, experts in religion, health, crafts, science, psychology, magic. Personally, I never met more of an expert on Hawaii than MaryKay. Kahunas, according to this writer, could be male or female. Now, in modern times, the word kahuna is used and misused in many ways. Some people without any traditional Hawaiian knowledge or training claim to have been initiated as kahunas, something which Hawaiians of old would have laughed at or been shocked by. In other words, being a kahuna is not based on an official ceremony or certification. The writer concludes by asking, so how do you know if someone is really a kahuna? There are no hard and fast rules, and there never have been. A deep knowledge and understanding of Hawaiian culture would seem to be a must if the word is to have any meaning in a Hawaiian context. In old Hawaii, the main test would have been one's level of expertise in a given field of importance to Hawaiians. So what is a kahuna? Just a title that means what you think it does. If you meet a kahuna, respect the person for what he or she can do more than for the title. So here's how I see it. When MaryKay was with us in the body, she felt the spirit of aloha, and she understood the spirit of aloha. But she was stuck in a haole body, a white woman with a Hawaiian spirit. But MaryKay has now danced free from those limitations. She is no longer a haole or a white woman. She is the aloha spirit in all things. As Queen Liliuokalani told us, the aloha spirit in the trees, the flowers, the ocean, the fish, the birds, the grass, the rainbow, and the rock. The aloha spirit in its joy, happiness, abundance. I have no doubt that all the knowledge and heartfelt love of Hawaii and its people that MaryKay gathered in her lifetime was only a glimmer of the universal wisdom of the Spirit that she is dancing with, flowing with now. And so to our beautiful kahuna, MaryKay, let us say from our hearts, aloha. Together, aloha. We love you too, MaryKay. Mahalo.
I invite you now to join me in a brief meditation as we turn our thoughts inward and we embrace the beauty of nature and life. We honor the sacred ground we walk on as our world reflects our own divinity. We gaze upon the world with peaceful eyes and live in harmony with all of creation. We are grateful for the richness and diversity in our world. Yet we are one. Gazing on the beauty that is, we are filled with joy, with awe, and with wonder. We are grateful to live this human incarnation in such opulence as we move through each day. May we be mindful of life's gifts. May we be kind to all living creatures and honor all that is non-living. May we remember our oneness. We give thanks for the generosity and love with which our earth shelters us and blesses us moment by moment. Spirit tells us we are one. We celebrate that connection as we walk the many paths laid out for our use. We feel divisions melting away and all people coming together now, healing our planet, healing one another with creative solutions. A new paradigm emerges now for all of humanity. The spirit of life, that moves through our bodies also moves through all of creation. We are all inextricably interconnected with the expressions of life in this world. We trust the divine order perfected over eons, knowing we are held in life's eternal embrace. This day, we respect and honor our oneness, and in this way, we too will be restored to our natural loving and fully spiritual lives. And so it is.
Channeling MaryKay, that means making everybody else wait. Ta-da.
Friends all gathered round. There's something I will say, that what brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle that holds us all inside, where strangers are as family. Loneliness can't hide. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
These mountains in the rain, I've learned to love the wind. I've been up before the sunrise to watch the day begin. I always knew I'd find you, though I never did know how. But like sunshine on a cloudy day, you stand before me now.
So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
It will be your greatest teacher, the best friend you have made.
So give yourself to love. If love is what you're after, open up your hearts to the tears and laughter. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
It's time for those of you who'd like to share your stories and experiences with MaryKay to come up to the microphone.
Hello, everyone. I'm not used to doing these types of things, but I really want to do this for MaryKay because she's a person that's very, very special to me. I've known MaryKay my whole life. She is about 5 years older than me, but we grew up together on the Big Island. And it wasn't really until maybe when I was about 15 years old and she moved down from the Big Island to Oahu to work and live, that I got to know her in a different way. And she became sort of an older sister figure to me. She was incredible. She taught me how to drive. And that was an experience, let me tell you. To this day, I tell my kids I'm a very good driver, and it's all because of MaryKay. Because she would not let me get away with doing anything wrong. She'd make me do it over and over again, and if I tried to back up without putting my arm on the seat and turning and looking first, I was in trouble. So I think that was a good thing, because she was very diligent, especially something like that, and she was very calm too. She was not easily flustered at all. We got in some pretty hairy situations on the road, and she just had no problem at all. So she was very good in that respect. She was very, very consistent in wishing people happy birthday and always bringing them a lei for the birthday, most of the time made by herself, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and climbing over the fence into the neighbor's yard to pick the flowers, and then showing up at the house at 7 o'clock in the morning to make sure I had a lei on before I went to school that day. And she really had a love for flowers, that was a huge part of her life. And she was very, the thing I think of when I think of MaryKay is detail. You've mentioned detail to cleaning, but she had detail to so many other different aspects of things. She loved the intricacies of the leis that were made, and she loved her sister Heather's sewing techniques with her father's aloha shirts, turning them into pillows, and the blanket for her brother on his bed. She would describe everything to me in extreme detail. And she loved to talk, and she needed to talk, and we spent many, many hours on the phone with her, giving me a lot of details of different things that were going on in her life, and telling me all about her nieces and nephews. And that's something about MaryKay, is she really, really loved her family. I mean, she really loved her family. She was always up on what everybody was doing, and she cared for them. And she showed people her love through touch. That was her thing. She loved to give massages, and she was very, very comforting in that respect. She was very just incredible to be around. And a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. She was very loud sometimes. I think that goes back to the mascot days. I remember at my graduation, it was an arena of 8,000 people and almost full. And I had to, there's 400 in my class, and each person had to march across the stage, and they would say your name and hand you your diploma. And when I came across that stage, I heard MaryKay, and she was up in like the nosebleed section. She wasn't down in front. And the whistle, first of all, was the whistle, and then the screaming my name, and that's all I heard. And everything that was going on, I heard MaryKay, and that was her. She was going to be heard, And she was there waiting for me with a lei afterwards, as always. But yeah, I'll miss her. She was a wonderful person. And as my brother Desmond said, a very special person that we'll miss having around. Thank you.
I'll just add a little more to what Una said. Una is my friend before I met her brother, who I married, and MaryKay introduced me to the family. And so many beautiful remarks today that were shared. A few of them hit home for me, and that is the depth of MaryKay's ability to forgive and the depth of her expression of love. I don't know many people who can love as purely and generously as MaryKay. MaryKay was 5 years older than I, and lived on Kauai. Our mothers are sisters, first cousins, and we just loved to go to that island to play. Her father loved to fish and had to take us water skiing out on the boat and to the back parts of the island to hike that we never got to see. MaryKay grew up in a very Hawaiian way, and she had a void. It was mentioned earlier that MaryKay's heart was so Hawaiian, and when she was old enough, she expressed to her mother and father she wanted to have a Hawaiian name. She was not given a Hawaiian name, and she went to a very dear family friend, Reverend Kaina, on the island of Kauai from Lihui, whose daughter was friends with Heather, MaryKay's sister, and MaryKay. And Reverend Kaina gave her the name Kehaunani. Kehaunani, or Kehaunani. And Kehau is the mist that comes down specifically off the Hualalai, which is on the island of Hawaii, but in general, it's the mist off of the mountains, the cool evening change, the dew. And Nani is beautiful. I always mix it up with Kehaulani. Lani is heavenly. So MaryKay is both. But it was very important to her, and I always admired that conviction. She wanted to have a Hawaiian name. And she did change her name to Mary Catherine Kehaunani. Yeah. Gosh. If anything, I'm going to remember that incredible laugh. And that will stay with me. We miss MaryKay, the shock of the loss, and I know you all will miss MaryKay as well. I know her heart was here at this church. She loved it. One more story. We came up to Oregon to buy a car in 1996. Our 4 kids, and the youngest was 4, and the oldest, we bought a Suburban here in Eugene. And we decided to take MaryKay up to Opal Creek. My husband's family had history with Opal Creek and the Atia family, and we had a blast. And when we came back to Eugene, we just could not leave MaryKay. We were going to drop her off at her house, but we had to have her come stay with us in our hotel room. Just could not say goodbye to MaryKay. And that was the time she was just dating Brian. And we were so happy to see MaryKay so happy. She's a lucky one. Brian, you were a lucky one too. We're so grateful you two found each other. Well, we say aloha to MaryKay with love. Thank you for incorporating so much Hawaii into the service.
No, I know I'm going to cry. I'll warn you. So I'm so glad that MaryKay was part of our family. I'm Brian's sister, so MaryKay was my sister-in-law. And I have to say that she was the best dinner guest ever. You too, Brian. Brian too. But she was so amazing. Like, she would never sit still. She would just be busy over here, busy over here. She would make the table so special, you know. She did it all with the perfect drink glasses and the this and the that and all the details, like you said. She'd go in the yard. She'd pick the flowers. She was always, oh my gosh. And if I ever gave any other dinner party, I was like, oh, where's MaryKay? I need her, you know. Oh, and the other thing was the gifts. She would leave things. Like, I'd be like, where did this magnet come from on my fridge? Or there's a napkin holder over here. Or this new wine cork is in my drawer. You know, what has this? She just, I love what someone said about, the aloha spirit, because that makes just perfect sense. She was just pure love and definitely a defender. As her sister Heather said, she'd remember your birthday and just, she was just always there for you. I believe she was the defender of your neighborhood. She was like, master recycler. She would, trash day, she made sure there was no litter in the neighborhood. She'd also put the trash cans in and out. Definite caretaker of the neighborhood there. She just, and I remember so many things, like if I would say something negative or pessimistic, she'd say, cancel, Pamela Grace. Cancel. And then I loved how Brian was either lovey or bukatati, which I don't even know what that means in Hawaiian. Hopefully I didn't say a curse word or something.
No, it means beloved husband is what I've heard.
Okay, because it always seems like, she was slightly annoyed with that when she'd say that. But and the rubber slippers, she called her flip-flop. Yeah, because I'd be like, MaryKay, we're going on this hike. Are you, shouldn't we get you some other shoes? No, I'm good. The rubber slippers. But, I don't know, so many memories. Oh, and I miss her laugh, like you said, and her smile. And, I miss MaryKay so much. We'd go to Costco together. She'd be like, I don't think you want to buy that. It's not, this is not quite, the seam's a little crooked. She was like the perfect match to my lack of details. Oh, we went to baseball games, sailing. The first time I ever went sailing, she taught me to play Russian donkey.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway, so she was, adventurous and healing and kind. And I remember having a migraine, and she gave me a massage, or hadn't slept in days with the new babies, and I have twin daughters, and I remember she gave me a massage then to just try to help me sleep. And so anyway, that's most of it. But anyway, thanks for being here, and love you, MaryKay.
when I had my knee surgeries. She was very conscientious about that I do well. I'm June.
Hi, June.
I was a Sunday school teacher for a lot of years here. And MaryKay was such a loving, helpful person with the kids in Sunday school and with the teachers. Oh, I thought we get all there. Maybe
That way the people
back.
that are watching on the cameras.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sure.
Thank you.
MaryKay really put her heart out for youth ed and for the children. She loved them, she loved us teachers, and she was such a support. When I would bring the children in to sing along with the people in the sanctuary, when Sunday school was finished, I would go back to the room to clean up. I didn't have to clean up. MaryKay had been doing her magic. And I would do the next Sunday and I'd say, MaryKay, where's this? MaryKay, where's that? She was so good at organizing and putting things in order that often we teachers didn't know where the things were. Now, yeah, it made sense to her order. Right. I am wearing my Kauai sweatshirt in honor of MaryKay. Whenever Dawn and I would go on our trip to Kauai, Brian and MaryKay would be cheering us on, and they'd want to know all about it when we got home because we went to Kauai for 15 years. We loved it. We loved MaryKay. I know her spirit is dancing the hula as we speak. And I just want to say to the family, we all loved her very much. And I love your presence about her. Thank you.
Thank you, June. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak?
Thank you, Brian. And thank you all. You guys have shared so many wonderful memories. The audio-visual is incredible. The music, all the stories. My sister said it best. I don't think I can add too much to what she said and what Una had to share about MaryKay. She was just a beautiful heart, important to all of us. And for me, a very long break in my love, never a break in the love, but in my experience, in my day-to-day, in my embracing of families and friends, I have not had that. And I was reticent to attend when Brian said, come from Honolulu. Didn't know if I should. But Heather made sure kick me right off the top of that fence. And I did take but 2 minutes. And she told me who I need to go talk to, and I did. And I got things worked out. And I'm so happy to have attended today. To hear these stories, remembering her, I've known her my whole life. Lisa said we went to Kauai to play. I knew her on the Big Island, and I knew her on Oahu. Mostly I knew her as just the sweet hands of Lomi Lomi, which is massage. MaryKay just had an absolute incredible spirit, and she knew how to transfer her love through her touch and through her many, many, many other ways. I'm not a great speaker, and so I'm a little bit embarrassed to stand here, but I want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of this wonderful celebration. Thank you.
Anyone else? I invite you to use.
So my name's Chemo Sears, and the reason why I met MaryKay is because Brian came to 4J School District to work in our maintenance shop. And as the first person had shared about a whistle, my wife has the same whistle. All the family knows you could be, I don't care where it is, out in the forest, at a county fair, it doesn't matter. You hear that whistle, I mean, all our family looks. That was interesting to hear that. So the first time I met MaryKay, I'm sure Brian had talked to her about, hey, I was born in Hawaii and stuff, but I was raised over here my whole life. So when I met her, the first thing she said is, "Aloha, Chemo," if I remember right. And if anybody's been to Hawaii, there's a lot of, when we greet each other, it's a hug and a kiss. And it's a hug on, kiss on the cheek, and it's just respect, a welcome. It's something that family does over there. And that's how I was greeted by her. And I just felt the love. I felt like family. Actually, being that she's older than me, actually my wife's same age, maybe that's where the whistle comes from. I kind of looked at her as an older sister. So anyway, another thing I really wanted to get into was I hear about cleaning. So I was in the service 10 years, and we kind of had this tradition, you don't clean your coffee cup. It's, we called it seasoning. And so my coffee cup was a deep, dark brown stain. And it was almost like tradition or something. You just didn't wash your cup. It was like bad, I don't even know what the word would be, karma maybe. You don't do it. And so when I got the 4J, I got a different coffee cup. I probably had 8 to 12 years of seasoning in that. Brian comes along, and MaryKay would sometimes come to work after everybody was gone. Brian would work late sometimes, and she would hang out there. And so I walked into the break room, like, wow, somebody really cleaned it. This looks great. And I set my coffee cup kind of behind the coffee pot to kind of keep it away so it wouldn't get washed. I walk in and I go, hey, where's my coffee cup? Oh, it's in the dish drainer. So I picked it up. I'll be doggone. She was very meticulous. She got every bit of that stain out of there. A bright white coffee cup. And at our church, we kind of had a saying, you got to love the brother when something would happen. It's like, kind of like. So it was like, got to love the sister. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. And that picture that we came into where she's holding, I think, a flower, looks like that's how I remember her. Yep, that's how I remember MaryKay. So aloha, MaryKay.
I'll say something. I'm not really going to encapsulate 25 years of marriage by talking. I was just going to mention a couple little things that people, she was to have talked about being a nanny. One of the things that she would, I don't know if she shared with anybody here, but she got a job working for Tom Selleck. She watched Tom's brother and sister-in-law's kids on set of Magnum PI, and she was real proud of that. And I don't know, but she would talk to me about it all the time. But yeah, that was one of her things that she did that she was really proud of. Like I remember she said one time she was trying to get off so she could go pick up her dad at the airport, and they were razzing her about, oh, you're going to see your boyfriend, go pick him up. No, it's my dad, you guys. I just thought that was a cute thing that she would tell me about. I don't know, God. I miss her. I know she's in a much better place now. So I'm thankful for that the pains and the limitations of this body aren't holding her back anymore. So, thanks. Anybody else want to come up?
Good afternoon. My name is Lisa Oxman, and I spent some of my growing up time here at Unity of the Valley. By growing up, she was one of my teachers. I hadn't been here very long, and we were in the kitchen, because she was in the kitchen a lot. She was everywhere, as you know, but especially in the kitchen. And we had some disagreement over something. It got rather heated. She just burst out into laughter. And of course, me, because I was the immature one, thought she was laughing at me. So it made me even madder. It took me over a year to recognize she wasn't laughing at me. She was laughing at the situation. And there was a time period shortly after that where we had, I can't remember all the details, but it was a remarkable healing circle upstairs. And for whatever reason, we got face to face, or actually we had to sit back to back and talk in this healing circle. And I had avoided her since that time. And we found ourselves in this amazing place. I heard someone talk about her ability to forgive. She also had a wonderful ability to teach others how to be able to forgive. So I'm super grateful that the Holy Spirit, God the Father, brought me here today because I just, perchance, happened to look on the internet at what might be happening at Unity of the Valley. And when I saw that today was a celebration for MaryKay, I knew there was no place I'd rather be. My love, my aloha to the family and to those here.
I don't know how many of you knew her by her nickname, Red. But as kids growing up, that's how we knew MaryKay as Red. And I realized, speaking and sitting down, that I didn't finish. We'll miss you, Red. Wow. We'll see you on the other side.
Thank you all for your beautiful comments and participation. It's so heartwarming to hear all these stories and hear aspects of MaryKay that I never knew. So with that, I invite you to close your eyes as we close with prayer. Dear God, we know that in your great love, you are guiding your beloved children along the path of spiritual unfoldment. Through your infinite love and care, we release the spirit of your loved one, MaryKay, and place all who are near to her in your care, knowing that your peace will fill their hearts and minds, now and forever. and so it is. Amen.
When I give, I don't think of receiving. I'm just letting God give through me. And there's joy in my heart with the giving. Doesn't matter what comes back to me. And it's easy living this way, 'cause it's how we were meant to be. I don't struggle or strain, I get out of the way, and I'm letting God live through me.
When I love, there are no preconditions, for I know every soul is divine. If I can't see their light, it's just hiding, or it might be the clouds in my eyes.
And it's easy living this way, 'cause it's how we were meant to be. I don't struggle or strain, I get out of the way, and I'm letting God live through me.
As I live, I see ever more clearly that I'm part of a grand design, and the secret to finding my own way is to know that God's life is mine. And it's easy living this way, 'cause it's how we were meant to be. I don't struggle or strain, I get out of the way, and I'm letting God live through me. And it's easy living this way,
Living this
'cause
way,
it's how we were meant to be. I don't struggle or strain, I get out of the way, and I'm letting God live.
letting God live, letting God live through me.
Aloha.
Thank you all so much for being here.
If we go out through that door and through that door, there's food for people. And we can talk more. Thank you all for coming so much.